Oh, what up? This is Minyos, reporting live from Cape Town, South Africa. But I'm not from Cape Town. Originally, I'm from Ndabetamba, in a very small village in the Eastern Cape. It's not really that small, but it is small. It's considered small. I don't know why, because it's that big. Anyways, yeah. So I came down to Cape Town looking for some work, better opportunities and stuff. Same as the Nigerians who came to this country, the Zimbabweans and Malawians, and people from Mozambiqueans, Syrians, Kenyans, Ghanaians, every African um, citizen who came to South Africa looking for better opportunities. Yeah, we all go to other countries to look for opportunities. Um, Not that much in South Africa. South Africans don't go to other countries looking for opportunities. I don't know why. Maybe he's scared. I am not. Anyways, the reason why I made this video is I wanna stop this whole thing. I don't wanna stop it, but I wanna have my opinion about it. This foreign conflict that is happening between South Africans and foreign nationals against South Africa. In South Africa, Johannesburg specifically, they were protesting against foreign nationals, looting on foreign national stores, taking whatever they want, breaking in, taking whatever they want. That's wrong. That's crime, criminal. That has nothing to do with xenophobia. It's just a bunch of criminals committing crime. Because after I would say the xenophobic attacks were the ones that were generated by, not really generated, but after what that Zulitini guy, the king of Bazulus, after he made the speech about not wanting the foreign nationals here, those were xenophobic attacks. A lot of innocent people died, especially a lot of people from Zimbabwe and Mozambique. Those close countries. A lot of them died during those attacks on Somalians, and those people were innocent. You know, Instead of trying to fight the government for allowing this conflict between us and the foreign nationals, we're fighting the wrong people here. These are the wrong people that we're fighting. We should be, every time when you say something wrong, if the foreign nationals are being like taking our jobs, taking our women, that's the complaints. So, South African nationals are complaining that the foreign nationals are taking their jobs, taking their women, they're involved in criminal acts. Yes, I would love to agree with most of them, because yeah, a lot of Malawian people and Zimbabwean peoples have all the jobs. But what jobs are we talking about here? We are talking about people who are like cleaning houses, yeah, babysitters, securities, and like car parkings and stuff. Those are the jobs we're talking about, yeah. Like for real, like as a South African, with all the benefits and all this stuff, with all the opportunities that you have as a South African, those are the jobs you're complaining about. And not being selfish, but I know in other countries as well, it's like that. And it's not illegal; it's legal. You go to America, you go to Russia, you go to any continent or any country, you will find that the locals aren't doing the minor jobs like that. It's usually the people who are coming from like disadvantaged countries who are come to these countries and do such work. Clean your garden, and you know what I mean. You know that means for you South African, you should up your game. You know what I mean. Anyway, so yeah, so that one, I wanna agree or disagree with it. And the next one, women like foreign nationals are taking your ladies. South Africans come. No, nobody's taking nothing from you. If your lady doesn't want you, dude, you need to find another one. Straight up. What I would, what I would agree with is when South Africans are complaining that the Nigerian people are making the women prostitutes, because Nigerians are very involved in the prostitution industry in South Africa, which is wrong. The Nigerians are painting their image very wrong in South Africa. Every time when you think about Nigerians, we actually forget about the Nigerians we play soccer with and the Nigerians that are dealing with drugs. We usually take the bad ones and actually paint Nigeria with them and forget the Oparas and the Rafael Chukus and the guys who are like who made our history, and stuff in terms of soccer. And the guys we're playing with during the World Cups and like the athletics and everything, we just tend to forget and shut down when we talk about those kind of Nigerians. And the doctors, my doctor is a Nigerian guy. My software engineer teacher was a Nigerian dude. I forget about them when I see these guys selling dough in the streets and stuff, and involved in the prostitution and bullying. Never mind. Yeah. So that should stop as well. But I'm very glad that the Nigerian countries, Nigerian country stood up. The Nigerian government stood up and actually complained about this thing that is happening in South Africa. Their brothers dying in South Africa due to this. I'm glad. I'm glad other African countries actually stood up. I'm glad that we have this platform now of actually using it to communicate to other African countries, because that is rare. It's very rare. I don't remember the last time there was like a communication between South Africans and Kenyans, or South Africans and Ethiopians. Even Ethiopians and Somalians should actually have a very strong communication to South Africa, because each and every single store in the locations and in the rural areas in South Africa is owned either by a Somalian guy or by an Ethiopian guy. So I'm actually waiting on Somalia and Ethiopia to actually come and have this kind of like a platform so we can communicate further. But as for Zimbabweans and Malawians and the people who are working here, no man, just leave these guys alone. The only problem I have with Zimbabweans, especially the ladies from Zimbabwe, was me, persona, me, and I'm gonna strike for that. I'm gonna, I'm joking. Me, every time when I'm approaching these Zimbabwean ladies, I'm like, I used to say, you say, may I please have your number? No, I'm married. Why all of you guys are married? See now, I think the government should assist us with the married ones and the non-married. I'm joking. It's just a joke. But every time when I'm looking for a Zimbabwean lady, they always tell me that I'm married. Why? Zimbabweans are hard. But anyway, last but not least, I don't want to talk about this one. South Africans, I'm talking to South Africans now. These things of every time when you feel like the law is failing you, and then you use crime to get answers, it's gonna get to a point where you can't fight for yourself anymore. And what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? You can't use crime to fight crime, because that's committing crime. You're not fighting anything. You adding. You can't. That's like you wanna. What can I say, man? Let's say you wanna detox something, but you're adding more like or intoxication on it. You know what I mean? Okay, to drinkers. Shout out to all people who drink alcohol. Let's say you have a like an alcohol here, but now you wanna dash this alcohol, but you are pouring more alcohol on top of it. You're not dashing. Does it make sense, man, people? Because if it doesn't, then I'm just gonna live it life. But you can't fight crime using crime. It's impossible. You have to come up with solutions. Think. People are very lazy to think now. They just use crime to speak for them, which is fucked up, because crime won't speak shit for you. It's just gonna damage your image, and it's gonna create problems for you. These things that you're doing, burning people alive. And I see these things happening in the streets, and there's justifications all over the place, but they are wrong. Wrong is wrong. Crime is crime. There's nothing xenophobic about crime. Committing crime and robbing like people, you are doing crime. You're not supporting the country. We are not supporting your ass as well. Lastly, the countries that are involved in this nonsense again. South Africa, we are trying to stop this thing. The government is working hand in hand with other parties like the police services trying to stop these xenophobic attacks, but we have countries like Zambia and Mozambique and Nigeria who are actually involved in this same nonsense that we are trying to stop in South Africa. That's nonsense. Crime is crime. Thou shalt remember. Crime is crime. Anyways, because my fear is you'll be doing those nonsenses in your countries. Eventually, it's gonna, people, black people, we black, our brains sometimes just have a little bit of, I don't know. I don't want to say this because maybe white people might be watching it, but our brains was. Someone is gonna die in whatever the strikes that you guys are doing in your countries. Someone is gonna die, and it's gonna attract the bad audience in South Africa. We already have this nonsense. We have this. We have a tense situation in South Africa trying to stop crime, and this is just happening in just one city, like in Gauteng. And then if the whole world is watching you guys chasing back all the South Africans, you're attracting the wrong audience. We have criminals in South Africa who are ready to do what you guys are doing. You know what I mean? And those are the criminals who are trying to silence. And you guys are like, yeah, let's fuel them. No, man, no, stop those nonsenses. All those countries, stop. And lastly, I'll just talk to my South African people now about outside the xenophobic attacks and stuff. We have a big issue, South Africans, of men abusing women, killing women, and raping kids. I don't know. There's crimes that are understandable, abusing women, like fighting with women. I'm not saying it's allowed. I'm saying I know about it. It's understandable. Like, it makes sense to me. Maybe you were fighting and then you used your powers to beat a woman, then therefore you should be in jail. That I understand. And rape, it's a crime. Raping a female, it's a crime. You should be in jail for the rest of your life. But guys, when you are raping like a 6 months or 6-year-old or 5-year-old, like, what kind of crimes are those? Like, I grew up in like rural areas, and then we had crimes there. And then when I came down to Cape Town, I stayed in Khayelitsha, and Khayelitsha is like one of the notorious areas. There's crime in there. But now, the crimes that like I'm hearing from social media is that this old father raped 6-year-olds and stuff. What the fuck are those guys? I think we as men need to come back and actually come up with a strategy of how to deal with these things. You know what I mean? Because I think it has to do with men's psychology now. And another problem that is I feel like it's promoting these crimes is the neighborhood. Back in the days, the neighborhood was actually against this whole thing. But nowadays we have snitchy, we have hypocrites neighborhood who don't want to snitch. Forgetting that we are not in America here. This is not America. We are not Americans, guys. This whole nonsense of not snitching, you're not allowed to tell the police and stuff. No. By doing that, you're actually supporting the criminals. And you're creating a neighborhood full of criminals, because if you let one criminal leave, and then you don't, that's like, you're not giving a lesson to the people who are growing up that what a criminal is supposed to be done when he commits crime. And then the young kids are gonna grow up thinking that committing crime is like good. You're just gonna commit crime and people are not gonna snitch on you. And then one of these days you're gonna have a daughter. And you exactly know what's gonna happen to your daughter in that neighborhood. Not all of you guys will manage to move out from the neighborhood and go stay in the suburbs. Some of you will be left behind. And some worse shit is gonna happen to you. Rather fix your community instead of trying to run away, because those are not animals, they're humans. They need to be fixed something here. You know what I mean? Fix the neighborhood by snitching. Start snitching. If people are selling drugs in their neighborhood, go tell the police, hey, these people are selling drugs in my neighborhood and I don't enjoy that. You know what I mean? If you see people raping their daughters and stuff, tell the police, hey, that guy is having sex with his old children. People are sick, man. But yeah, that was my view about these whole things that are happening in South Africa. Hope you enjoyed the long ass video. Peace, Sacrobatic Minyos.